Hey, Big Spenders. I am so sleepy. I got back from LA last night and hold on, I didn't turn my phone off, so it's beeping at me. Okay, there, fix that. Um, Flight delays. Oh my God. I was supposed to fly out of Burbank at like 3:30 yesterday afternoon, and I had a layover in Denver, and it was storming in Denver, so all flights were delayed out of there. I wound up getting home after 2 a.m., but I made it home, I guess. So I was kind of a little bit hoping that maybe it would have gotten canceled on the LA end, so I would have another day. No such luck. And my fellow passengers are probably glad for that. So, yeah, okay. Good for them. So, yeah, I came rolling in after 2 a.m. And apparently, I've also reached an age where my body thinks I am supposed to be awake at 7 a.m. no matter what's going on or where I need to be. So, I'm tired. Um, Not very many good flight delay stories. Like I said, it wasn't anything super exciting. It was just stormy. Um, and oh my God, though, yeah, this is a thing. Um, on the flight from Denver to St. Louis, oh my God, every couple on that plane, I swear to God, was fighting and not speaking. Shouldn't laugh, but oh my God. I saw so many women storming off with their or carry-on luggage and leaving their dudes to catch up with them. Just like, this is why I travel by myself. Oh, it was a good reminder. And speaking of carry-ons and baggage, this is the first flight I've taken since Southwest started charging to check bags, which not a fan. Uh, who is? They went from free to I think $45 per bag. Since I was going to LA and it's warm, wasn't a problem for me. I was able to. I'm also a master packer. I am. If you need me to teach you how to pack your luggage, I can do that. I'm really good at it. So I was easily able to squeeze everything into a carry-on sized wheelie bag and a big tote bag, no problem. Uh, Apparently, nobody is paying to check their bags at Southwest because every flight I had, which I had layovers to and from LA. Every flight I had, and every flight that I could overhear at other gates, um, had Southwest agents requesting people to volunteer to gate check their bags. So if you're flying Southwest, be prepared for that, because nobody is checking their bags and there's not enough room on the plane and passenger areas for all the carry-ons. That's working great for them. Because when they gate check your bag like that, they don't charge you. So, oops. All these new Southwest policies. That one didn't seem to be going so great. Of course, I say that, and the next time I'm flying, I'm going to Monterey in November, and I will almost certainly have to pack a bag because it'll be colder, and I will be taking bulkier clothes. I'll be throwing in a sweater or two, and and I'm a bigger person, so my clothes are bigger and take up more space. So, we'll see how good my packing skills are when I head to Monterey. Uh, I haven't decided what all I'm going to write about my LA trip yet. It was not the trip I wanted. Um, Not that it was bad. Um, there were some interpersonal not great parts, but they're actually there were I had a dust up with somebody I care about very deeply, and it's okay. We kind of needed to have a dust up, I think, and we're good. So, but not a fun way to spend the trip. And I didn't get to spend as much time with this person as I would have liked, which not because of the dust up. That's the reason for the dust up. So, anyway, but I did get to spend time with my dear friend Donna, who lives about an hour or so out in Riverside, California. I went out to visit her and her husband and had a lovely day with them. And I'll definitely be writing about that. Got a lot to say about that. It was a good day. Um, but I had two, I have two really good stories of people I encountered that'll probably you'll wind up reading about these most likely. But usually I have in mind what I'm going to write so that what I tell you here can be something different and you don't get repeats. But driving through Los Feliz, which is a rather hip neighborhood in LA. It's just past, it borders Griffith Park and the observatory and has these beautiful Spanish style houses. Uh, and of course, there's stuff there that I like because I'm that type of person. I was headed to a coffee house because, of course, I was. And I'm driving through this residential neighborhood, and there was a house with a grown ass adult man working a matcha stand. He had lemonade too. Um, did I stop? No, and I have so many regrets for not stopping. There was a four-way stop, and so I was like across from the matcha stand and could take in what is this? If it was a marketing ploy, it wasn't a very good one because it was kind of off the beaten path and I couldn't see any clear branding. It just looked like some middle-aged guy set up a matcha stand like his kid's lemonade stand and was hustling for some cash in this rather affluent neighborhood. And he might be onto something. I don't have a job. I should probably not joke. I might need to set up a matcha stand in my neighborhood. Let's see. What was my other? Oh, I had to wait to put gas in my rental car yesterday. I had to wait in a line just because it was a tiny, tiny gas station not very far from the airport. And it was difficult to navigate, blah, blah, blah. So I'm sitting behind this person who had put the nozzle in the gas tank and decided to get back in the car, which I don't understand. It's dumb. Even at my most disabled, I could at least lean against my car, or you could call for help. Anyway, I don't know why she was back in her car, but I'm sitting there and waiting my turn, and I guess she forgot what she was doing because all of a sudden she just decided to drive away with the nozzle still in her gas tank. And I'm like, okay, this is how I'm going to die. Fiery explosion in Burbank. Didn't see that coming. So I laid on my horn, and I guess it clicked. That, or she, I don't know, but she stopped and immediately realized what was going on. And she blew me kisses through the windshield for thanks and was very apologetic while I'm in the safety of my vehicle. Um, So yeah, don't get in your car when you're pumping gas, especially if you're forgetful, because that could have been ugly. And I keep looking because animals are doing things, and there's a lawn crew across the street, and I just picked the best time to do this. Um, let's see. I didn't do anything I planned to do in LA. Like I said, this was not the best trip. Um, but it was better than not being in LA. So that's a good thing to know. That even the disappointing trips, still an awesome place to be for me. Um, I'm still very grateful to have been there, and like I said, I wouldn't have been disappointed if I was there today. Um, but yeah, trying to think of what other quick stories I can share. Okay, this one I'm definitely not posting. So this is, it's not a secret or anything. It's just not too terribly travel bloggy. And since I know some of you, many of you, are paid subscribers because, not because you are hoping to get good travel information from me, but because you've always supported my writing. This is the venue for this. Um, with um, I had meetings with two literary agents on Sunday, and this is weird. This is not a typical thing. And the meetings were not in LA. I was in LA. The meetings were in Philadelphia. It was at a writers' conference, and one of the things that happens at writers' conferences is you can purchase a time slot with a literary agent to pitch your book. Um, and so I had the closest I've come to getting an agent with my Woody Guthrie manuscript was through this conference a couple of years ago. And I dropped the ball on it. And it's fine because the book wasn't ready anyway. I thought it was, and I was wrong. Uh, so they started during COVID, they did the conference virtually through Zoom. And since then, they have kept the Zoom component for the agent pitching section. So it's open to everybody who's able to come in through Zoom and who's willing to pay. So I paid to pitch to two agents, one that looked like a good fit, which is based on, what kind of books they're looking for. And oh, this person is interested in publishing or representing memoirs and cultural criticism. And okay, that's probably somebody who might be interested in this. The other agent I chose, she doesn't represent memoir, but her last name was Guthrie. So, oh, you're it. She does represent books about music, though. And, but I didn't expect anything to come from that. And so I set up meetings based on East Coast time, Eastern time. And math is hard. And I got up Sunday morning thinking that my meetings started at 9 o'clock Pacific time. And while I was getting ready, I looked at the Zoom invites and misread, and was sure I had missed my meeting with Ms. Guthrie. And at one point thought I'd missed both meetings and had just thrown away $80 and gotten up early for no reason. But I would have been up at 7 anyway because that's what I do now. And I got myself straightened out with the assistance of a fine representative from the conference. And I was still cutting it close enough because I went into this panic while I was getting ready, trying to get myself looking somewhat professional. So I wound up having these two pitch meetings in my pajamas with my hair on my head, kind of like I am right now. Doing great. Doing great. Just, I can't tell time. I'm in my pajamas, not wearing a bra. Yeah. Oh, here comes Woody. Speaking of, here's he has missed me. We had a very long phone conversation on Saturday, and now he's stepping on my keyboard. I hope he's not disconnecting me. Hi, has some cat butt. Please stop. Special guest appearance by Woody, who's now This is why I think that he might be Woody Guthrie reincarnated. It's moments like this. So I make it to these meetings in my pajamas with my hair on top of my head, no makeup, and both agents want to read my book. Yay! It doesn't necessarily mean anything yet, other than other than I can pitch my book successfully under dire circumstances. Let's just face it, that's how I do everything. They each wanted the first 25, 30 pages and a chapter by chapter synopsis. And I that's why I was going to the coffee house when I saw the Matcha Man. I was going to the coffee house to get that all put together and sent to the prospective agents. And the one, Ms. Guthrie, who I did not think would be interested in my book, told me that she had heard many pitches and had heard about many manuscripts during the course of the conference, and mine was the most exciting she'd heard. So I am flying pretty high on that front. Like I said, it doesn't mean that they're the right agent, that either of them are the right agent for me. It doesn't mean that they're going to take me on as a client. It doesn't mean the book is on its way to being published, but it's a step in the right direction and it's progress. And I'm going into, I haven't pitched to any agents in a few years since, and definitely not since I'm still finishing this rewrite. To start off pitching to agents, batting 2 for 2, it's really good. So I'm happy. That balanced out a lot of stuff from the weekend. So yeah, thank you for supporting my work all these years. Those of you who are here for that reason, well, you're supporting my work right now. If you're watching this, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, because writing is a very solitary thing and it's very much done in a vacuum, and it's hard to tell, especially when you've worked on something for 13 and a half years. It's so hard to lose perspective, or so easy to lose perspective on whether it's good or not. And, you know, if it even makes sense to anybody, it's like, well, it makes sense to me. Well, of course, I've lived it for 13 and a half years. So to have that reaction to the pitch was pretty awesome, and I'm excited. And I was glad I was in LA to work on it. Just because there's writers all over LA, and the bulk of them are working in the film industry, the TV industry, or are trying to. And there's just this vibe that I love when I go to the coffee houses there and people are writing. There's writers everywhere, and the energy is great. And it was really cool to be able to be a part of that while I was there. So, and also, another writerly moment. There's a few weeks ago, I pitched a bunch of um, stories to literary magazines and magazines. And that's basically where you email an editor and say, "Hey, I have this idea. I want to write this for you. Do you want it? Yes? No? No? Okay." So I found it's new. A lot of new publishers are calling their publications zines, even though they're not zines in the 90s Xeroxed. They're actual nice magazines. But this is a new food zine in Los Angeles called To Go. And I pitched something to them a couple of weeks ago. And I very stupidly, and that day I was doing a bunch of pitches, and I just thought, oh, I don't need to make a spreadsheet or anything to track what I pitched to who. I'll be able to tell. No one's gonna grab anything anyway. This new zine took my pitch, and I had no idea what to pitch to them. So I had to email them and tell them, I'm sorry. I goofed. I'm very excited about this, but I don't seem to have a copy of the pitch. Can you help me by resending it to me? So, of course, I got their response while I was at the airport waiting for my delayed flight yesterday. Not when I was in LA and could have actually worked on the article, which was something completely different than what I had guessed that I had pitched to them. So I'm so glad I asked. But that's okay. Um, I can still do it. It'll be fine. I'm like, I'm such a professional writer. Showing up in my pajamas, forgetting what I told people I'd write for them, and not being able to figure out time zones yet. Okay, we're doing great. Doing great. Hopefully, this is one of those cases where somebody is a complete and total basket case, but is really good at what they do. Please let that be the case. And on that note, I'm so tired. I'm going to go take a nap. Love you all. Thank you for your support. Convince other people to help because clearly it's needed. Bye.